Hi, Ann.
Hi, Annette. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
How was your week at the gym?
Well, I am bringing functionally fit friends to a new level this week with just needing to use my functional fitness. So I did
Mm.
not get to the gym. I actually worked at the shop a lot, and that's where I can really tell a difference in what I've done in the past year and how I've built muscle and how my body just moves through space
Mm.
differently because I can pick really heavy things up much more easily than I was able to a year ago or even this summer. So
Wow.
I was using my fitness as functionally as I could this week
Yeah,
without
that's
hitting the
awesome.
gym.
That is great.
What about you?
Well, yeah, it was a fun week at the gym. I only made it in 3 days this week. It was good. I definitely had a games ready in quotes moment
Yay! What was it?
yesterday when I deadlifted 200 pounds. And I
Dang!
Yeah, and I previously had only done 175, and I thought that was crazy. When I did 175, I was like, "Wow, that's a lot more than I had done
Yeah.
before." And yeah, we did kind of a cycle of working on that, but
Mhm.
I really kinda, one day I talked about, like, oh, I was like, "Oh, my back hurts," or, like, I skipped that deadlift day, or
Mhm.
I really didn't do I don't feel like I did that much to earn doing lifting at 200 pounds, but and then I think, like, maybe the secret to it also was just forgetting about it. Like, I came in that day and I was like, "Oh,
Mm.
we're doing deadlifts?" Like, I thought that was yesterday, the day I stayed home, but it wasn't. I had just been like, I'd seen the workout and I'd just been so focused on the second part, like the
Mm.
Metcon. I was,
Mhm.
so I maybe that helped. Just like
Yeah.
not getting psyched
Well,
up
what
for
even, like,
anything.
made you put 200 pounds on your bar? That's awesome.
Okay, so here's partly where getting the timing right and, like, how much to put on each time
Mm.
as you're warming up and how much to
Oh.
do. So we
Mhm.
had 20 minutes and I felt like I just kinda hit it right. And
Mhm.
so I don't remember what weight I think I was up to 165, and then I was like, "Oh, I know I can hit 175. I
Mm.
know I can do what I did before." So I think
Mhm.
I went up to 180 at that point.
Okay.
And then from 180, I can't remember if uh my coach was like, do 200. That looked, I was standing up like so fast and easy.
Mhm.
And so I think at that point I did 200. But it was like right at the end of the time when I thought I was done. I was happy I had our AP yard like at 180 or maybe 185 or maybe even 190. I literally can't even remember what I was up to. And he's like, do 200. I'm like,
That's so
okay.
awesome.
Yeah. So that was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. And apparently wasn't that much of a strain. So he
You
was
could do
like
more.
he was like, "You can probably 2x your body weight." I'm like, I don't think so at this point because it literally would be over 230, I think, to 2x at this juncture. But
Mhm.
that's not
That's not that far away.
yeah, exactly. So I think maybe this year it wasn't a particular goal I set, when we set goals last week, but
Yeah,
maybe that'll happen too.
that's so
That'd be
cool.
fun.
So, did you do, like, both hands hook grip? Did you put one forward, one back?
I think I was doing yeah, I think I did 2 hands hook grip. I was
Okay.
definitely overhead with both hands. I used to do, one up, one down.
Mhm.
For some reason, haven't done that in a while, and I just didn't bother with that yesterday, so
Yeah, that seems
yeah.
to be kind of like, preference, right? Well, or
Mhm.
it just helps you hold on to the bar longer.
Mhm.
Alright, if you're gonna be doing more reps or whatever.
Yeah. So,
We did that in Girls Gone RX. One of the workouts was one teammate is on the bike while the other two are holding a barbell that had like 265 or 285 on it. So
interesting.
you and one of your teammates would stand up and hold it for as long as you could while the other person was biking as hard as they could. And then the bike person would stop and put the barbell down and switch. And my forearms were really
Oh, yeah.
sore. So yeah, it just seems to be kind of a preference thing, but that's
Yeah.
so awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. And then
Badass.
funny thing, I posted it on Facebook, and I have this friend from high school who's a doctor, and he wrote, I herniated 3 discs just looking at this.
God.
I was like, oh, Steve, come on.
Oh my
Ay,
goodness.
ay, ay.
It is right, the perception of lifting heavier, people are like, oh, you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
But we learn the proper way to do the things.
And I know you and I are really careful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't want to not be at the gym. So
I
I'm not
know.
gonna get hurt.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how just last week we were talking about how deadlifts are scary.
Right?
But I guess like I wasn't scared yesterday. I don't know.
Well, and if you've been doing it pain-free for a long time,
Hmm.
you're just feeling more confident with like, that's not gonna hurt me.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I know I always have that like little thing over the back of my left hip over there, and but it's fine. I mean, it just has that little bit of pain that
Well, and if you've
isn't
learned how to
bad.
activate your glutes finally,
Hmm.
they're probably you've recruited them into helping now.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Well, did you have any Medicare ready moments?
Oh, yeah.
Oh dear.
Well, I mean, one could say that this morning was just because after yesterday, I kind of exhausted myself. And today I was like, not going to go, not going to make it. Because today's workout, well, first of all, yesterday, I mean, what we had after the deadlift was 5 rounds of 7 ground to overhead at 75 pounds. And I did 60, which for me is like a lot and close to RX. So it's 7 of those and then 200-meter run. And that was like pretty exhausting. I mean, it wasn't a long one, but it was
So was that
tiring.
a snatch?
Either one. So what like either snatch or clean and jerk, like whatever
Okay.
you need to get it from the ground to overhead. So what I ended up doing, I would do 3 snatches and then 4 clean and jerks each round.
Okay.
Because like I couldn't, I had, I got to the point where I was like, I don't know if I could do one more snatch.
Yeah.
So I mean, I probably could have the first few rounds, but I would have like that was getting to be too hard. So I would
Hmm.
switch to the clean and jerk. So that was a fun one, actually, if we're going to choose our favorite WODs of the week.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you have a favorite piece of something you lifted in the shop?
Well, we have a water jet machine and it uses the CNC technology. So it's an X and Y axis and nozzle shoots out water, but it mixes the water with this stuff called garnet, which is essentially a blend of like sand. It's very fine, but that is what is an abrasive. So we can cut through, inches thick things.
Oh,
So this was the longest that we've gone without having a pump out. So the tank, you're cutting things and the water garnet stuff goes into the bottom of the tank and it starts to fill up and it becomes this like sludgy mud, and it was never this full before. And we have a system of grates with angle iron, with more grates, with more angle. So in order to keep it from like just degrading, because if you're able to cut through 6 inches of steel, you can guess that like you're cutting whatever's at the, like below it as well.
mm, mhm.
So we try to, maintain a flat surface with the structure in the bottom. And we have to take all that out before the pump truck comes. So luckily we have a hoist. So we have like these chains that we then like can lower and hook it on, and then and that's not that hard because physics is amazing and the
So you're
pulley system
pulling.
is like,
Okay.
woo! But there were times like when we were trying to pick up the angle irons, they were so like caked into the mud. They were making like huge suction noises when you finally like get it up. So I think that was like kind of my favorite thing was like, and the fact that so we get them up and then John would start to pull it out and I would be rinsing it off. And then I was carrying like these 8-foot angle irons that I swear I was having a hard time the last time we did this.
I bet.
And I was just like, carrying it outside awesome. Like it was nothing. So that's
nice.
It's just kind of interesting and right, like so I'm like doing this, like oh, this is like if I was trying to climb a rope.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it was a lot of movement, and I think historically this would have hurt my back as well because you have to lean over the tank to like get things out of the way, and I just think I use my body like I'm smarter about engaging the muscles when I'm leaning over like that or trying to pick something up or
excellent.
Yeah. So I know it sounds really weird and I was so filthy dirty. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I saw your overalls picture.
It was nasty.
Nasty.
That would be like a game's ready because I was ready for life.
Yeah, for sure. That's great.
Do you have
I was gonna say like I could have picked that as my Medicare ready moment, just not being really ready today because of the hard workout yesterday, and then I like didn't sleep well, so I wasn't in my heart rate stayed elevated, my ring said. So I was like, I'm just gonna skip the gym today, and then but I did kind of have a Medicare ready moment a little bit on Monday. And it was just probably because I was a little ambitious with the weight, which I've been trying to be like, I'm trying to push it up a little bit, with the weights I do in the Metcon. So, I mean, this was a 25-minute EMOM. Minute 1 was 10 hang power cleans at 75. And I started at 60. That was when I was like, okay, I'm gonna push it. Minute 2, 8 bar facing burpees. Minute 3, 8 front squats, which is where I ran into trouble. Minute 4, 8 bar facing burpees again, 8 more. And then minute 5 was a rest. And so, we repeat that 5 times. We do that 5 times basically.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is about hang power cleans. Like, I feel like I'm awesome at them. I'm just like, I could do this all day. But then by the time we got to the front squats, I was like, what the hell? I feel like I should be able to squat a lot more than this. But like I said, I had started with 60 and I did 2 rounds at 60. And then the third round, I think it was even on the hang power. Was it on the hang power cleans that I was just like, or no, when I picked up the front squat for the third time at 60, I was like, no. I was like, I don't think I can do one because you're out of breath from the burpees at that point.
And I think those front squats, that's all about your core. Like, at least at our gym, that's what the joke is. Like, this is where you get your abs.
Yeah.
Front work.
Yeah. So
Did you go down?
I did. I went down, but I also skipped basically 2 rounds of front squats. And actually on the last round, I was like, I only did 5 of them. So that was my Medicare ready moment, but I don't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, you're like power cleaning left and right.
I'd like to have planned better, but to be able to have done the whole thing with whatever weight I chose. But on the alternative, like if you're always kind of making
Yeah.
it through okay, then maybe you're not pushing the weight. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of a like, well, which way to go? So
Hmm.
I don't really feel too bad about it. Yeah, that was my week in the gym.
Nice. Uh, it's always kind of a strange week between the holidays.
Yeah.
Do you have anything for what hurts today?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of my usual. It's not bad at all. I feel like it has been getting better, and I'm looking forward to our experiment that we're going to be doing
Oh, I'm
starting
so
tomorrow.
excited.
But again, it's like, yeah, like kind of that spot, just, I don't know, it's like just to the left of my spine, around my hips, and yeah, just kind of weird in my back, that kind
Hmm.
of area. So, do you want to tell what we're doing?
Let's. I am so excited that I finally got this. It did take me a little bit to pull the trigger. I don't know why, just because it's a big investment upfront.
Mhm.
But for our January, we have decided that we are both going to use our hip hooks daily and report what happens, what changes. So the hip hook, I have not used it yet. We're going to start tomorrow. We're going to do it every day in January. And it sounds like you do at least 30 or 60 to 90 seconds,
Mhm.
like on a spot.
Yeah.
So this is to work on releasing the psoas and releasing the iliacus muscles, which are super hard to get to without having a practitioner work on you.
Mhm. Yeah, especially the iliacus.
Yeah. So you actually turned me on to this hip hook, and the book that comes with it. I had it on
Cool.
electronic, but I just need a book so bad.
Yeah, cool.
And this is what has made me think that everybody's issues and everything has to do with tight
Right.
hips.
Yeah.
So, but how did you even like get into?
Okay, so I was looking on my Kindle one evening. Sometimes I look at the daily deals they have. They have like a list of number of books each day they put on sale. And I saw that I was like, what? Tight hip twisted core. Sounds interesting and possibly relevant to me. Yeah, I read the book and I related and I was like, I'm gonna get this hip hook that she's talking about.
Mhm.
And yeah, I do feel like it helped some things. And then ultimately, I feel like maybe the side that was more tight switched over.
Mm,
So I don't know. Although it's still in my back, it's still always the left side. But like as far as my psoas and iliac, and also like I did discover that I think for me, it's more my psoas is tight rather than the
mm,
iliacus because they talk about it being, you start on your psoas and then
mhm,
you press the lever and then the hook goes to your iliacus. And they talk about it being the really excruciating part for most
mhm,
people. But for me, I think it didn't really get any worse. It was like the
mm.
psoas. So maybe I didn't need the expense of the hip hook. Maybe I could have just used a ball in my abdomen, which sometimes I do. But I think that I really want to do this experiment. I think it'll be fun for both of us to be really consistent with it
Yeah,
because I have not been super consistent at any time with it.
yeah. I'm so interested to see.
Yeah. I could definitely feel, after doing it and then standing up and walking around, it feels different and nice and free to be walking
Mm,
around. But part of me, I'm so skeptical. I'm like, ever the scientist. Part of me is like, well, is that just because I was sitting there writhing in pain, basically? Like now it feels so good to be free of it, free of this thing jammed into my, I don't know what.
ah. Do you change the location or do you always go? So the one video
Yeah.
I was watching was nip to hip. Like that's one of the ways you can figure out where your psoas is. but in the book or in the little pamphlet, it had a whole like section that you could
Mhm.
target. So do you move
Yeah.
it up and down?
Yeah, yeah, I don't always hit the same spot, but I only do like one spot each day. So I
Oh,
and
okay.
and it makes you sore. Like, the next day you might be sore and or bruised. So
Hmm.
definitely you don't want to do the same spot a couple days in a row. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, I can imagine too, there's like fascia stuff to get through. And so it's right.
Yeah.
It's not just your psoas. You probably have, there's fascia
Right.
over top that's like
Mm,
probably needs working
yeah.
through.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I found it interesting because when I started, it was definitely more painful on my left side. And
Hmm.
then when I've done it in more recent days, it feels like it's more painful on my right side,
Hmm.
but I do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to we'll share. I mean, by the time you hear this, dear listener,
Dear listener.
we will already have been doing this for almost a week, I think.
Yeah.
Or more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, we have some other things to put up. So we'll be halfway through this experiment probably by the time you even hear about it. But that's okay.
So we were going to talk today about our CrossFit journeys.
Mm.
And in doing CrossFit, I discovered I have a super wonky pelvis. So talk about
You can
tight
write
hips,
the book.
twisted core.
Yeah, yeah. Tight hip, twisted core, super wonky pelvis will be Anne's sequel.
Super wonky pelvis with, I don't know why.